Vital Astra is the skill that took Dimitri from a role player to a solid carry. I mean, look at what he's doing to that brave Edelgard. Makes my heart happy. But the question is Vital Astra actually better than Ruptured Sky? Let's take a look at it. So let's just jump right in, and we're looking at Summoner Duels. So the first unit up has to be Hardy Fighter Vector. Keep in mind, we're looking at relative scores here, and Vital Astra is hitting for 10 more damage, and that is significant. So the winner is easy here, but I need to know, how many of you are struggling to take out Hardy Fighter Vector? Because I know I am, and I would love to know your counter. But let's look at Ascendant Ithune next. Ithune is the next most prevalent problem unit. And now remember, Ruptured Sky increases damage by a greater amount versus dragons and beasts. You can see that Ruptured Sky does 3 whole more damage, and that's great, but that jump isn't as significant. We're going to continue to go through some near saviors and some dragons, but first, let's look at Dimitri as a raid boss. Now I've got some gameplay of raid boss Dimitri, and he is so much fun. But I also wanted to look at actual numbers. Quick review, Vital Astra scales off of the unit's speed, but it's 30% as opposed to Ruptured Sky's 20%. That, along with the damage reduction, is what brings about the pretty spectacular results that you're seeing. But let's look back at this chart. This means 2 things. First, don't use Vital Astra if the effective speed is under 65. Trust me, I've looked at numbers, I have played this out, it's just not worth it. Second, that's it. Don't listen to anyone who tells you that you need slaying or anything else. You can work around cooldown just like the entire player base has been working around the cooldown for area of effect specials. Just don't worry about it. There is, of course, the case for dragons and beasts, and we'll get to that, but I wanted to prove this out with some near saviors first. Brave Edelgard. This is a pivot point here because this is a matchup that legendary Dimitri shouldn't win. And you can see that first hit is 9 more points of damage for Vital Astra on the first hit and then 2 more points of damage on the second. I've played this matchup out in the wild and it is quite a shock to the opposing player. But it's time we started looking at some dragons because things start swinging the other way. Here's a real chance to look at the damage difference when we bump the attack percentage up to 40. The 8 more points that Ruptured Sky does is pretty significant. It's worth noting though that Vital Astra would allow for a lot more remaining health if the dragon does survive, but Ruptured Sky is the clear winner here. Let's get a better look at the numbers versus dragons. Now we've got some highlights here with Vital Astra versus some dragon opponents, and you can see we don't fare as well. The numbers also play that out, and if we're looking at just damage, Ruptured Sky is clearly superior. Like, it's not close. Let's look at the difference when we go up against something like a near save Ithune. Now this is a typical build for a near savior, and you can see immediately the Ruptured Sky does better, but it's only by 2 points of damage, and I know that has a lot to do with Pavis, but I feel like this is the deal with most Vital Astra users. They're going to be excellent at taking out threats that aren't designed to withstand melee units. Since most units in Summoner Duels are geared towards ranged threats, this isn't exactly a bad thing. But let's look at what happens when we go up against a true raid boss. You knew we had to throw in a bonus doubler Fallen Edelgard, right? Now we're coming to the end and I'm bringing you to my final point. This is an excellent special, but it doesn't destroy every unit and it's not for every situation. Ruptured Sky getting 8 more damage here is pretty significant. It's interesting to point out that the strategy here is probably ignoring Fallen Edelgard altogether, allowing her to hit you and then running around to take out her supports. Still, Ruptured Sky is clearly better here. Now, if you're asking me, I'd say that Vital Astra is hands down a better special. It allows you to specialize your unit in a way that is very complementary to most Summoner Duels teams, but it's worth noting that if you're specializing to take out dragons or beasts, Ruptured Sky is your choice. I had one more thing to say. All the charts in here are based off of one done by a Reddit user named Prooof, If you want to go look them up on Reddit, they have an excellent discussion going about that. I've taken a smaller subset here just to represent Summoner Duels, but I wanted to make sure that they got credit. But anyway, Summoners, I hope all is well. I hope your vital Astra dreams are coming true. Take care and schedule an appointment with your FEHologist real soon.